Staying with the WNBA playoffs, let's stay here. Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. Came out there and did her thing. Rookie of the Year, 4th in the league for MVP voting, assist leader, one of the top leading scorers after the Olympic Games. She put on a show, and Clark is the golden goose. Not most, not all, but some people spent some time resenting her.
The WNBA just took a massive hit. Playoff ratings are in, and they're not pretty. Remember when Caitlin Clark had everyone glued to their screens? Well, now that she's out, viewership has nosedived by 80%.
Validating all the attention she was receiving. A rising tide lifts all boats. If folks were more receptive to it, even more moments would have arrived.
Top-selling WNBA player merch, Caitlin Clark, #1 in jersey sales, Angel Reese 2, Sabrina 3, Kate Martin 4.
You've changed the world in so many ways. You've done it with so much grace. And I'm so happy to take the floor with you.
That's right, from 3.4 million viewers to just 650,000. What's going on here? Let's talk about Clark's rookie season. She wasn't just good, she was breaking records left and right. Her playoff debut, 1.84 million viewers. Her second game, a whopping 3.4 million.
All realize where the credit needs to be given as far as the success of this WNBA season. Caitlin Clark came in and made such an impact.
A league with players that feel like they should be getting the attention. Now they have center stage, but the ratings are going to go down. How far, though?
On how many people started to care about the WNBA. This was the highest viewed season in the history of the...
That's insane. She had people who never watched WNBA before tuning in just to see her play. But here's where it gets crazy. As soon as Clark's team got eliminated, boom, ratings dropped like a rock. We're talking an 80% decline. It's like the whole league deflated without her. You know what this makes me wonder? Is the WNBA putting all its eggs in one basket? Can one player really make or break the entire league? We're going to dig into what this means for the WNBA's future. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. You might think an 80% drop in viewership is bad, but that's just the tip of the ice. Clark's absence isn't just affecting TV ratings, it's reshaping the entire WNBA ecosystem. From merchandise to team visibility, the ripple effect is staggering. Ready to see just how deep this goes?
We just watched one of the most unique experiences in the history of sports. And I'm talking about the Caitlin Clark experience. Here's the excuse I'm going to give them, and this is the bow I'm going to put on this whole conversation. And this is a sympathetic take towards everybody on the Indiana Fever. And it's gone on non-stop. The Caitlin Clark experience.
Let's talk numbers, and I mean jaw-dropping, record-shattering numbers. Caitlin Clark didn't just have a good rookie season. She rewrote the WNBA history books. We're talking 62 records broken in a single season. That's not a typo. 62. It's like she walked onto the court and said, hey, I'm not here to play. I'm here to dominate. And dominate she did. Clark averaged 19.2 points per game. That's impressive enough. But wait, there's more. She also dished out 8.4 assists per game, leading the league in both assists and three-pointers.
And then the clock rolls into the NCAA tournament. And by the NCAA tournament, I was like, this girl's the biggest star in sports. When practice starts back up in October and games start back up in early November or late October, she's now the biggest star in college sports, and she's playing at Iowa.
It's like she was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's impact went way beyond the court. Her jersey became the top-selling rookie jersey in WNBA history. Think about that for a second. In a league that's been around for decades, with some incredible players, Clark comes in as a rookie and outsells them all. It's not just about basketball skills, it's about star power, marketability, and the ability to captivate an audience. And captivate she did.
For sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes. It is mind-blowing. Since she has signed this contract, you guys, and her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials. We have not seen any ads. We have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise. When the deal was first announced, we also got to see the other offers that were on the table for Caitlin Clark. And as you can see, see Under Armour offered her 4 years for $16 million, which by a year-by-year basis, she would actually be making more per year if she had signed with Under Armour.
The Indiana Fever, Clark's team, became the most watched team in the league. It wasn't just about individual games. Clark created an atmosphere around the WNBA that hadn't been seen in years. People who had never watched a WNBA game before were tuning in just to see her play. But don't take my word for it. Listen to what Kelsey Mitchell, one of Clark's teammates, had to say. "I don't think people would know us without Kate." That's a pretty powerful statement. Clark didn't just elevate her own game. She lifted the entire team's visibility. Suddenly, the Indiana Fever wasn't just another WNBA team. They were Caitlin Clark's team. This isn't just about one player having a good season. What we're seeing here is a complete transformation of the WNBA landscape. Clark has become more than just a rookie sensation.
And then obviously you have Angel Reese still trolling her, and the people in the media being uncomfortable, and Paige Beckers is really the best player, and Paige Beckers, she understands her white privilege. She ain't break my record. I was playing with a real size basketball. She wasn't. All of that. And it's like, oh, wow.
She's the face of women's basketball. And that face is selling tickets, jerseys, and TV spots like never before. But here's the million-dollar question. Can one player carry an entire league? Because that's essentially what's happening here. Clark's impact is so massive that when she's not playing, the entire WNBA feels it. We're not talking about a small dip in interest. We're talking about a seismic shift in viewership and engagement.
From me to you, I'm always going to be a fan. I'm always going to be in your corner. I'm always going to be in your backcourt. Congratulations, kid.
I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast. And then I came here and was trying to give everything I could to this team. And it was special. There was a lot of things that this group accomplished. I feel like basketball has really consumed my life for a year. So I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened that, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible.
Clark's meteoric rise has everyone talking, but there's a twist. Remember that eye poke incident? It's just the tip of the iceberg. The league's treatment of its brightest star reveals a pattern that's hard to ignore and harder to justify. Let's talk about what happened on the court. Clark was driving to the basket when, bam, she got poked right in the eye. Now, you'd think the refs would stop the game, right? Wrong. They let it keep going. No foul called. Fans were losing their minds. And analysts, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. But here's where it gets crazy. This wasn't just a one-time thing. Clark received 177% of all flagrant fouls in the league. Let that sink in for a second. One player getting almost double the flagrant fouls of the entire league combined.
And I'm so happy to take the floor with you, to be a part of this experience. I want to tell you to give yourself some grace, kid. You've done a lot of things that not a lot of people can do. And no war, man, you deserve it. You've changed the world in so many ways. You've done it with so much grace.
How all of a sudden that's in the mind's eye of everybody else. You clearly have this person, Caitlin Clark, to thank for it.
That's not just unfair, it's downright dangerous. You know what this reminds me of? It's like when a new kid shows up at school and suddenly becomes the star of the show. Everyone's watching them, but not everyone's happy about it. Some people might try to take them down a peg or two, and that's exactly what it feels like is happening to Clark. The WNBA has a superstar on their hands, but are they protecting her? It doesn't look like it. We're talking about a player who's bringing in millions of viewers, selling jerseys like hotcakes, and making people care about women's basketball in a way they never have before. You'd think the league would be bending over backward to keep her safe, right? But it's not just about safety on the court. It's about how the league treats its stars off the court too. Take the Rookie of the Year announcement. For most players, this would be a big deal. Cameras, confetti, the whole 9 yards. For Clark, they just gave her a phone call. That's it. No celebration, no fanfare. Just, hey, congrats, you're Rookie of the Year. Meanwhile, other players are getting full-on ceremonies for their awards. It's like the WNBA doesn't know what to do with a star as big as Clark.
So, hi, Coach Sides. This is WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Do we have the team all together?
Hello. Yes, ma'am.
What a record-breaking season for you and the entire team, full of outstanding performance. Caitlin, you are the 2024 Kia WNBA Rookie of the Year.
They've got this incredible talent, this player who's breaking records left and right, and they're treating her like she's just another rookie. This isn't just about Clark, though. It's about the future of the WNBA. If they can't figure out how to protect and promote their biggest stars, what hope do they have of growing the league? They've got a golden opportunity here, a chance to take women's women's basketball to new heights. But instead of seizing that opportunity, they're fumbling it. You've got to wonder what's going through Clark's mind right now. She's out there giving it her all, breaking records, bringing in fans, and what's she getting in return? Dangerous plays on the court and a lack of recognition off. That's not how you treat your MVP.
I was just telling Mr. Ed, like, I went through a lot internally. A lot of what I went through, I relied on my dad for. When the time comes and the opportunity is right for me to make those decisions, obviously I've always had a home in Indies. I think that for us, we err on the side of professionalism in a lot of different ways, and we can only control what's in our organization, within our people.
So Clark's getting all the attention, but is she really the WNBA's only hope? Check this out. The league just saw its highest-rated non-Clark playoff game in 20 years. Is there more to this story than meets the eye? Let's talk numbers. The WNBA playoffs without Clark saw a 47% drop in ratings. That's huge. But here's where it gets interesting. The Storm versus Aces game averaged 988,000 viewers. That's the highest viewership for a non-Clark playoff game in 2 decades. Can you believe it? It's like the league found a second wind when everyone thought it was down for the count. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but that's just one game. And you're right to be skeptical. ESPN moved some playoff games to ESPN2. That's not a great sign.
So it could potentially be a home for me again, but I think right now the switching dynamic of my family and everything, I got to do what's best for me. Me personally, we don't condone those kind of things. No, no matter what color you are or whatever you carry or possess. I think for us, we focus on the basketball part.
It's like they're saying, hey, we don't think as many people are going to tune in without Clark, but maybe they're jumping the gun. Here's the thing. The WNBA is at a crossroad. They've got this superstar in Clark who's bringing in massive crowds and breaking records left and right, but they can't just rely on one player. That's like putting all your eggs in one basket, and we all know how that usually turns out. So what's the game plan? The WNBA needs to figure out how to balance star power with overall product quality. It's not just about having one amazing player. It's about creating a league that's exciting to watch from top to bottom.
It's 12 or our, who we try to represent for ourselves. And so, I respect her comment and what she has to say, but I don't think it has anything to do with us, And I think that she may have had an experience that we may or may not know on her own. But I don't think that, that should be labeled on us. It's definitely a lot of emotions and thoughts that flow through my mind. I think that everything for me is so fresh that I don't know what I need and what I'm going to do.
Think about it like this. Clark's brought all these new fans to the game. Now the WNBA needs to give them reasons to stick around. They need to build up other young talent, create rivalry, and make sure every game feels like it matters. But it's not just about the players on the court. The league needs to step up its game off the court too. We're talking better marketing, more engaging social media, and maybe even some changes to how the game is played. Anything to keep those new fans hooked. And let's not forget about the base: player safety, fair officiating, making sure the games are fun to watch on TV.
Clark was the first one in the tunnel. Her long year of basketball over. She was chosen #1 in the WNBA draft last night. We saw Caitlin Clark take the last shot of her season, one that ended with an 87-81 loss to the Sun in Game 2 of the first round of the playoffs, and took a team that had won 30 combined games over the previous 4 years to its first playoff berth since 2016. Clark had a rookie record-setting year. Here she is.
These might seem like small things, but they add up. If the WNBA can nail these fundamentals, they've got a shot at turning this Clark mania into long-term success. Now, I know what you're thinking. Can the WNBA really pull this off? It's a fair question. They've got a golden opportunity here, but opportunities don't mean much if you don't grab them with both hands. The good news? That Storm versus Aces game proves there's still an appetite for women's basketball. Even without Clark on the court, people are willing to tune in for good, competitive games. The WNBA just needs to deliver them consistently. But here's the catch. They can't wait around. The Clark effect isn't going to last forever. The league needs to act fast, learn from what's working, and build on. They need to create a product that's bigger than any one player. All right, let's talk about how the WNBA can turn this whole Clark situation into a win. They've got a superstar on their hands, but they can't just ride that wave forever. The league needs to learn from Clark's impact and use it to make everything better. Think about it. Clark showed us how powerful a star player can be.
Yeah, a year this far.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA as the most impactful women's basketball player we've seen in a generation.
All right, Caitlin finally getting a moment to breathe, right? As she just mentioned, didn't even get to reflect it all on her college career and just jumped right into things and had an epic season.
And it took a combination of things, both on and off the court. Off the court, attendance, viewership, on the court, breaking the single-season scoring record or the all-time scoring record in college.
But she also exposed some big problems, like sketchy officiating and not celebrating achievements properly. The WNBA needs to fix these issues fast. Here's the deal. The league can't just rely on Clark. They need to use her popularity to lift up everyone else. Make the whole league more exciting, more competitive. And you know what? We fans have a part to play too. We need to show up, watch the games, and support women's basketball. Not just for Clark, but for all the players who are out there grinding every day.